Hello and welcome to the Just Interesting podcast, the podcast that's not boring, it's not too interesting, it's just interesting enough. And this week, as always, I'm joined by the two, I was going to say the two amigos, but then that discounts me from the three amigos. So two extra amigos.
Two amigos is accurate.
Thank you. In the form of Alex and Robin. How are you both this fine week?
I'm good, thank you, Martin. It's lovely to be here, as always.
What, in your living room?
Too real, man. Too real. Yeah. Well, it is lovely to be in my living room, actually. Yeah. It's best place on earth. I'm
Good,
very much a stay at home person.
Yeah.
Lockdown is my lifestyle, so that's great. Yeah.
Very
How about
good.
you, Robin?
Yeah,
I want to move attention away from me very quickly.
How's the hermit life treating you, Robin?
Fine, thanks. Yeah, it's similar to Alex. Yeah. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, no, pretty good. Not the best week, not the worst week. It's just a week, just another week.
Well, it has been just interesting enough.
It's been in terms of news. It's been interesting, and I don't think this is as good opportunity as any to say that we've created some extra little bits and pieces for those patrons who want a little bit more of us, who haven't got sick of us by the end of this episode. And if you do, we have created a video on spinach sending emails. What? And also the situation with GameStop, the madness with GameStop and Wall Street Bets. So if you want to watch either or both of those, then please do head on over to patreon.com/justinteresting. Now, this week, we are talking about AI and specifically the dangers of AI. Some scientists have recently researched the capabilities of superintelligent AI to take over humanity, and they've released their results, and it's a little bit depressing. So we're gonna look into that a little bit later.
I think that Robin's take on that AI discussion is going to be, these concerns are very over-exaggerated. There's nothing wrong with AI.
Well, if that were true, Alex, then I'd be behaving predictably, and that's part of the problem. In which case...
it's just getting confusing now.
Wait a second.
It's just getting confusing.
It'll make more sense.
Robin's a robot.
Hopefully what won't be confusing this week will be the quiz. But before we get into that, what have we learnt this week? Robin, what have you learned this week?
What have I learnt this week? I learnt a funny fact about NASA in the 1970s. They had a thing called Skylab, which is like a precursor to the International Space Station up there in space. And in the 1970s, as you can imagine, the moon landing program was ended, and NASA was under a lot of pressure to justify its budget and to curtail its spending by reusing materials. So one of the things they did when they were building Skylab was to reuse materials. So they made a big fuss about the fact that they were, for the hatch on Skylab that they'd be using for EVAs or extravehicular activities whilst in outer space, they were reusing the door from the Gemini spacecraft that had the precursor to the Apollo program. But the
door
so here's the funny thing: the airlock.
You want to be reusing doors in space?
Of all the things to reuse.
Well, the hatch on Gemini was designed to fit a conical command module. So it's a kind of triangular shape, and it curves like a cone. But the airlock on Skylab was a cylinder.
And no one picked this up.
Well, NASA knew about it, and
again, they knew about things, but it was too expensive to change.
Well, they spent more money adapting the door from Gemini to fit the Skylab airlock than if they just built a door in the first place. But they were able to say in all the publicity that they were reusing materials, so Congress was happy.
So it didn't fail then? It didn't fail? It just costed a load of money?
No, they had 3 successful EVAs on Skylab.
Well, that's good. Yeah. At least it worked.
Fair enough. What a waste of money. Alex.
Well, on a very different note, I learned about some aviation regulations in Swaziland.
Oh.
Which was mentioned in last week's podcast because you didn't know where it was.
Oh yeah.
Wow, good memory.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's why, obviously.
it was on your brain.
I looked into it, yeah. This aviation regulation actually relates to witches, which you may be interested to know aren't able to, are limited to flying 150 meters off the ground.
Sorry.
What?
And they're still permitted to fly.
Any witch caught flying their broomstick above the limit faces arrest and a hefty 500,000 of their local currencies fine, according to the country's Civil Aviation Authority. No
this
penalty.
is from the Civil Aviation Authority. It's not like some nutter.
No penalty for flying under 150 meters, though. So
Okay.
What?
Is there a big thing about witches in Swaziland? Do they?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Is that I'm not sure where this actually comes from. It might just be like an inside civil aviation joke, like it actually relates to any flying object.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the thing is, when you look at certain cultures around the world, and especially when you look at, say, a country like India, a lot of the, I'm not saying a lot. I don't know enough about it to be that definitive, but there's still a lot of issues around witchcraft, especially in communities that are quite remote. And there have been cases of women being stoned and killed by the locals when they're accused of being a witch. You know, we think of a kind of medieval England, don't we? Which is being put up at the stake, but it still does happen today. Yeah. What you don't think of is a Civil Aviation Authority believing in this and putting it into legislation. That's mad.
Do they have a position on Santa as well?
That's interesting. Not sure what their position on Santa is. I mean, I'm guessing he's racked up quite a lot of fines, but he just refuses to answer them at this point. I mean, I think according to one person, this I think Swazi. It is Swazi. Swazi press asked for clarification on the country's airspace laws, and someone from this authority basically said it was a metaphor, basically for anything like any heavier than airborne vehicle, basically was meant. But I think the confusion is that this is written into law, and Swaziland is an actual a lot of people do believe in witchcraft over there.
It's such a bad idea to do.
Accusing people of like black magic and that kind of stuff. So it's actually not very helpful. I think. No,
it sounds incredibly unhelpful.
But I thought that was interesting.
That's cool. That's really cool. Well, this week I learned, about bananas.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, what do you guys think?
They're banned from flying over 150 meters.
I was going to say, what do you guys think? What do you guys first think of when you think of bananas? But I won't say that. I'll say, what country do you first think of when you think of bananas?
Oh.
What country do I think of?
Yeah, or just roughly. Can you name a few banana-producing countries?
This is probably wrong, but I want to say Jamaica.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Well, one thing you don't think of, or country you definitely don't think of, is Iceland.
I wasn't thinking Iceland.
Absolutely not Iceland.
No, and quite. Well, it's pretty obvious why, isn't it? A fairly cold climate, rugged agriculture and geology.
But you'd be wrong. No.
Iceland is Europe's largest banana producing country.
Wow.
And the reason for this is their geothermal pools. So they power these banana plantations using the geothermal energy created from the geysers and from volcanoes, etc.
Yeah.
And which allows them to then heat these greenhouses very cheaply and to the temperature required to produce bananas.
Amazing.
And they've been doing this since 1941. So they're doing it for quite a long time. Now, there are millions and millions of tons of bananas produced each year, and they actually only produce around, I think it's between 500 to 2,000 kilos of bananas each year. So it's a very small scale. But I thought it was amazing that Iceland is the biggest banana producing country. You think somehow what are they doing? Somehow in, I don't know, Spain, Portugal, somewhere down the south of Europe. But no, Iceland.
I guess they just stock them. They just produce enough for the whole of Iceland, 200, 300,000. Whereas I guess that's probably not enough.
Yeah,
I don't know how many people live in Iceland.
I think it's around 300,000. I think.
Yeah, something like
around 300,000.
You get one banana a year for
So of course, Iceland have difficulties importing a lot of their food.
Yeah.
So they don't import that many bananas. So bananas are still fairly rare. But they do have this supply of bananas coming from their homeland. It's pretty crazy.
Great.
That's good. That's good entrepreneurial thinking. The person who started that banana
absolutely.
farm.
I'd like to try an Icelandic banana.
Yes.
Of course you
Go on
will,
then,
Alex.
Robin.
Of course
What
you
do you
will.
want to say about that?
I don't need to say any more. Say no more.
So from bananas in Iceland to comments from our viewers.
Smooth segue.
Exactly. There was nothing else to go with there, apart from maybe let's peel back
Oh,
the
there we go. Yeah.
Good one. Yeah.
I mean, that still doesn't really work. But anyway, let's have a look at our favourite comments of the week. So I've got a comment from Rafferty, and this is in relation to our last podcast where we were discussing having double yolked eggs and then messing up your recipes because you've got too many bloody yolks. And Rafferty says, make a cocktail with that spare yolk, dudes.
That's a great idea.
A Disaronno sour or something. The egg white, when shaken, creates a lovely texture. Robin, specifically. And Alex, I don't know. Just Robin. But Robin
I
was
will
speaking
stay
about.
silent for this.
Robin was wondering about what to do with the spare eggs.
I was, yes.
Would you be up for having a raw egg in a cocktail?
Well, egg white is a common ingredient in a lot of cocktails. It gives a kind of foam on the top.
Oh, this is what
of the
Rafferty's
liquor.
saying.
Yeah. But that's the egg white. So I don't know about yolk.
Double yolks, yeah. You just end
Yeah.
up with too many yolks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've always thought it was a bit weird. I remember, I think it's, okay, going back to my childhood now, I think it's Never Ending Story. And at the beginning of that
Never-ending
movie,
story. That
Yeah,
one.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning of that film, the little boy's dad starts the day by he cracks some eggs into a blender, blends them with something, and then just drinks it all raw. And I remember,
Does he?
as a
I
child,
watched that last year and I don't even remember.
I think it's that film. And there's definitely
Stuck in your
other
mind.
examples where where someone's drank raw yolk. And it's clearly a fad in the American 80s. And it always freaks me out. Just the thought of raw egg.
Salmonella.
Yeah. It's not the most irrational fear.
No, you can get ill from it. Yeah, you can do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you might be if it's in a cocktail and you've had a few drinks and you're get the raw egg one. Yeah,
but again, like egg white,
drink.
that's the ingredient. But I don't know if egg yolk would work in a
Egg
cocktail.
yolk,
It's
yeah.
not
Eggnog. It's eggnog. Is it egg yolk?
I was going to say eggnog.
Okay.
It's seasonal, but egg yolk.
Again,
I mean,
was that whole eggs? Or is it just yolk?
Just yolk.
It's in the actual eggnog. The most important bit is the yolk, and then the egg white is separate. And you can make it have that foaminess on it. But actually, the whites aren't totally necessary for eggnog.
Okay, well
There you go.
I mean, I like the idea. I think if you're gonna, rather than throw away the yolk, drink alcohol with it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good plan.
Yeah, good suggestion. I've got a comment from Lady Caroline, who has clearly been watching the podcast for a while. So thank you, Lady Caroline, because she points out that I think Alex failed his resolution to be more positive from previous episode comments. She also says she thinks you were robbed, though, Alex. So clearly, at the end of the quiz last week, you were a bit angry, a little less positive than you resolved to be at the beginning of the year.
Angry is a strong word.
Robbed is when you lose by a point. When it's 9-2, you haven't got robbed. When you lose regardless of that round, you haven't got robbed.
It was
Stonking victory for Martin. It wasn't.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It was a big gap, but yeah, it wasn't 9-2.
I'll have a quick look.
I think what got me, and this is totally hypocritical because I
you did it to us the previous
I did it the exact same thing the previous week. But if we say it's a 10-question quiz, it needs to be 10 questions.
You mean 10 points?
10 points, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what did I? No, I did the other. No, ignore that because I did the exact same thing the previous week.
Yeah, the previous week you did
you
the exact
literally
same
did
thing.
Yeah. You don't have much of a leg to stand on.
Lady Caroline, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I've gone away and I've come back a changed man. I'm much more positive this week.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna play it cool. Play it cool for the rest of the podcast. But if you beat me in the quiz, Robin, I'm going to freak out.
No, I don't think I am.
No.
I've not been doing very well this season on the quiz. But what we have learned
fun
about
and
those, those multiple point questions is clearly Martin's the king of those things. He just
so far
2 quizzes in a row just runs away when those questions come up. So
yeah, I did. To be fair, I did feel a little bit bad because there were so many points on offer, and once you get a couple of them, the likelihood is that if you buzz in first and you know a little bit about it, you're going to get at least half the
you got
points.
the edge. But that's the point of buzzing in.
Yeah.
No, Alex, I gave you a disservice. It wasn't 9-2. It was 10-3. So there we go.
No, but in fairness, though, I think even without that question, the other questions you got as well. So I think I would have lost anyway. So
that's very gracious of you.
I'm going to say yes. I don't remember. Sorry, Alex.
Well, anyway, on the note of being more positive this week, I've got a comment that I wanted to read that definitely brightened my week. From Palvel. And she says, I want to express my love for this show. Life threw me some crazy curveballs pre-COVID, and I moved from the US to Argentina to live with family and have been out of work for 2 years now. A dream I have is to win the lotto and be your biggest patron. I wish more people knew how amazing you three were.
That's incredible.
You three are. Sorry, she said I misread.
No, that is incredible. I read that one too, and yeah, thank you so much. That's
so nice.
That's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said. That's incredible. And I'm sorry that it's been a rough couple of years for you. I hope things pick up soon.
Absolutely.
If we could engineer the lottery to end up in your favour, I'd love to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I hope you win the lotto too, but not for selfish reasons. Just in general, I think. Yeah. It sounds like you definitely deserve the lotto win.
Thank you. I wasn't thinking about us when I said that, by the way. I was thinking about you. I wasn't thinking about
I know what you meant, Robin.
Thank you, Alex. You got it.
I know what you meant, you scum.
But thank you, Palval, again for that comment. That was really lovely, and we really appreciated that. And we hope that everything picks up with you soon, and you do win the lottery. Very, very in favour of that.
Let's hope so. Do you guys want to move on to our main topic of the week?
Oh, yes, please.
Actually, no.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, let's do it.
Alex, you might not want to because it's a scary one, Alex. A new study has suggested that humans wouldn't be able to control a superintelligent AI. Yeah.
Just the good news we need.
Terminator is happening. It's happening. So this is a study from the Max Planck Institute and suggests that humans couldn't prevent AI from making its own choices.
Right.
Which sounds as terrifying as it is.
Is that not what AI is? Correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am.
Yes, but as we get on to, I might as well jump into it. So these particular scientists, what are we calling them here? They are scientists.
Yeah, scientists,
researchers, scientists.
From the Max Planck.
Yeah, exactly, from Max Planck Institute.
Yep.
They were primarily researching, they were using Alan Turing's halting problem. So Alan Turing explored whether a program can be stopped with containment algorithms or whether it will continue running indefinitely. And so this suggests that you can put in kind of almost circuit breakers to stop a machine from basically getting out of control and being able to make its own decisions.
Yeah.
This test was successful when applied to less complex machines, but with like artificial intelligence, these machines can then retain all of the computer programs in their memory. So they're suggesting that if these artificial intelligence were educated using robotic laws, it might be able to reach conclusions that are independent of the humans which have programmed it.
Right.
Yeah.
So Ayad Rawan from the research team says the ability of modern computers to adapt to using sophisticated machine learning algorithms makes it even more difficult to make assumptions about the eventual behavior of a super intelligent AI.
Right.
So it seems nowadays like there's this massive divide, isn't there, between those who are very much in favour of pursuing the route of AI in the science community, see Elon Musk, as a high-profile person, and then studies like this, which are warning that AI could quite easily and quite quickly get out of control if we let it basically do its thing, because we currently don't even understand exactly how AI has come to certain conclusions during certain studies. So there are machines currently that have performed tasks independently without the programmers knowing exactly, how they got to be able to do this. So it seems like we're definitely on the cusp of AI basically getting out of control, and we're relying on it more and more, and so the risks are only increasing as time goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That idea that they can override, or like the putting in that circuit breaker that just stops the cycle of like self-learning.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that that's getting harder and harder is a worrying trend.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like heading towards a black hole. There's the event horizon, the point of no return.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that point where we just can't put in that circuit breaker, and it's just going to
Mm-hmm. It seems the more intelligent the machines are getting, the harder it is to put in these safeguards.
Which makes sense. And it's funny because I'm guilty of that kind of thinking. I'm sure I've said it on this podcast in the past when we've talked about AI, and I've said, fine, build AI if you have to, but let's put in some, like you say, safeguards, some basic rules, some parameters that it can't go outside. But now it turns out, breaking news, by the way, those parameters won't work because it's AI. It can think around things. And of course, the irony being that because it's a computer, as you say, Martin, if it's a super intelligent computer, it has learned every computer program there has ever been, and therefore it's like giving a prisoner the keys to the cell. It's like, haha, you're in here and you're trapped. But he's like, yep, but I've got a map of the prison and I've got the keys to the cell, so I'm just going to walk out, thanks, and do what I want to do. It's scary, particularly because I think in the very same week, and this is January 2021 we're talking about, the same week that this news broke, the US military said that they have a moral imperative to continue developing AI for their weaponry.
Yes.
AI systems for national security and technological advancement, I think. So not only have you got private companies like Google with, what's it called? DeepMind, is it? I was going to call Deep Blue, but that was IBM, wasn't it? So now it's DeepMind is Google's AI.
DeepMind, yeah.
So you got private companies like Google, and Elon Musk, I think, is into it, going out there.
Elon Musk is doing it's like the cybernetic merging of human minds and machines.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually, he's doing that because he's concerned about AI. He's one of those ones.
Right.
And he wants to stop AI at the pass by advancing humans past it, making AI almost irrelevant.
So kind of wants to use AI, more simple AI, as a tool to enhance human intelligence so that we don't need advanced artificial intelligence?
I think so, basically.
Okay.
To kind of keep us on the level so that we're not going to become redundant once AI takes over.
Man. This is if it works, it works. But it's crazy though, isn't it? This is what gets me. Like we've talked about it in the past. Like you get all these scientists who get excited and say, "Oh, by the year 2050, we'll have reached singularity, and AI will be able to do everything for us." Isn't it exciting? Let's keep developing it, and that's what Google are doing. And here we are on the outside. Don't know a thing about computer programming myself. I look at it and I just think, guys, you've seen Terminator, you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know what happens, right? You know where this is going. Please put some parameters in, and then the others.
I'm afraid I can't do that right.
Exactly. And then the researchers say, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's why they never talk about it and never say, these AI scientists say, oh, we're not building parameters in, because they know that ultimately it's pointless. All those 3 laws of robotics that Isaac Asimov invented wouldn't work. I mean, that was kind of Isaac Asimov's point, but they wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That's why he wrote those stories, to say, oh, how would it actually happen if they had these 3 laws? And the answer is they'd break them all the time.
To protect themselves. The first one's to protect themselves above all else, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they would, refer back to that. That would be the type. Go refer back to default.
I remember reading those growing up and thinking, why would you tell the robots to protect themselves? Surely that's a recipe for disaster. Like that's the first thing they're going to do is kill the humans, right? As soon as you put that in. But yeah, so it's depressing but inevitable news, really, I guess.
Do you think we're at the stage now with AI being used in everything from memes to computer generated video game levels?
Yeah.
Do you think we're at the stage where we've gone too far to wind back the clock and protect ourselves? I mean, is AI at the stage now? Is it at such an advanced stage that this process has already begun? where machines are learning huge swathes of data that we, one, can't control, and two, don't fully understand.
Yeah.
That we've kind of reached that tipping point.
Like I'll be the first one to say I'm in that last category of I don't fully understand. I know that there's a difference between a lot of the AI that we have today and this kind of hypothetical AI of like machine learning, like it keeps learning as it goes kind of thing. But like a lot of the AI processes that we have in society today, I feel like I kind of yeah, you're right. I don't think we could go back to not having them. I think it's so it's everywhere in society, and
it's ingrained in the economy, isn't it? It's automation is
exactly
often based on AI.
As automation gets more and more, it's just only going to increase, and I don't think we can go back from that now. But I think we just have to put in a framework of moving forward in a way that is definitely 100% not going to lead to a Terminator situation. But it sounds like what scares me with the whole AI debate is that we can sit here and have our opinions totally uninformed on science and technology and AI. But also, like, the scientists right at the forefront of this technology, they don't agree with what like is going to happen either. They flip between, oh no, it's going to lead us to the next stage of human evolution, to it's going to take over and enslave us all. So like
the middle ground's been lost.
There's exactly. There's experts in the field think total opposites. So I don't know what to think with that.
Yeah, but just to pick up on what you said, Alex, to explain to anyone listening or watching us on YouTube, there are generally considered three types of artificial intelligence. There's narrow artificial intelligence, which is machines that are built for specific tasks, like manufacturing. They'll do the same thing again and again and again, and they can learn to do it better. So you program them, you set parameters, you say, we only want you to do this one thing, but we'll give you the capability to learn to do it better. That's narrow artificial intelligence. And that's probably what most things in your phone, most apps are. Narrow artificial intelligence. They're like voice recognition software, for example. On your phone, when you talk to it, it will learn to respond to your voice, and that's a narrow artificial intelligence. But then you've got general artificial intelligence, which is equal to a human's, which I don't think we've achieved yet, but we probably have achieved in certain tasks, like a chess playing machine that can beat the world's chess champions. And things like that. And if you combined those things together, you'd have an artificial superintelligence, which is what we're talking about here, which is something that can do everything, and they can do it beyond the imagination of humans. They could do things that we can never even think of doing because they're so good at it. And then, of course, at that point, they would reach singularity and start reproducing themselves. And here's where I have a question. Do you think we could still have a superintelligent AI that somehow prevent it from being a threat? So, for example, Skynet, going back to Terminator, the point there is that they had the nuclear codes. So they launched the nukes, and they also had control over the factories that they used to make Terminators. So if we were somehow saying, okay, we recognize that you're a supercomputer, you're a super artificial intelligence, you're really capable, you're amazing, you're the best thing ever, but you live in this box on my desk. That's all you do. You do not have access to the internet. You're not getting the nuclear codes, and no factories are going to work for you ever. Do you think it's possible to restrain an artificial intelligence to that degree?
I mean, in this study, they're saying no, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
They're saying that they're saying
thanks, Mark.
They're saying that if we get to that stage, the amount of information and data they have stored means that would literally be impossible.
Right.
And then going back to the laws of AI as well, the fact that they would always look out for themselves, we wouldn't be able to constrain them regardless. I think in order to do that, we would have to definitely, in a lot of ways, dumb down the capabilities of superintelligence, or just not go there. It seems like it seems for now like it's one or the other. If we go down that path, We don't know for sure. I mean, this is one study. I imagine that it would take various other peer-reviewed studies for us to come to a conclusion about the future of AI. It's such a complicated field that we, by our very nature, we don't know everything about, and that's part of the problem. But yeah, I mean, sorry, I've drifted off topic there. But
it does kind of feel like
seems
a
unlikely.
little bit of almost like a contradiction. Like if we could limit a super intelligent AI, then is it really a super intelligent AI? Because it would have to be less intelligent than us to like if we had the capability to restrain it, then it wouldn't be super intelligent really. I don't know. And yeah, if we just keep it on a box on our desk because we're scared it's going to get the nuclear codes, then is it even going to be any benefit to us? What could it do in that way? I don't know.
I mean, I brought up the US military saying that they need to keep, they have a moral imperative to keep developing AI weapons. And one of the arguments they make is that using AI in warfare, they can minimize collateral damage and casualties. They can kind of slowly eliminate, so to speak, unnecessary casualties in warfare, which is a noble aim. I feel like that's a bit of a PR excuse, but you know,
it's a bit ironic with the increase of unmanned drones and automated weapons.
Exactly, but they're saying put the drones in the hands of AI rather than humans, and you're going to take out human error. And I find that interesting because there's only two outcomes there, right? If you're putting weapons, the instruments of war, directly into the hands of AI, one outcome is either AI takes over and turns on us and kills us all, or it says, a bit like the end of war games, where the only way to win is not to play. And they say, well, if you want minimal casualties, we're not fighting your war for you.
That's true.
So,
or they say, who are the real terrorists here? And then they turn around and attack the US military.
So suddenly it goes back to scenario one again. Either way you look at it, the AI turns on us and kills us all.
Yeah, there is that the issue of AI overtaking the decision-making process from humans, isn't there? And whether there's a moral imperative to have humans involved, because I think there's been discussions out there, especially around the ethics of AI, and if they're being used to make ever increasingly important decisions, whether that's in manufacturing or whatever, there's going to be inbuilt inherent biases in what the AI is outputting in terms of their recommendations.
Yes, that's true. Whatever the programmers set, this is the irony, isn't it? Even though there's the risk of super intelligent AI going beyond our capabilities to limit it, the foundations of the programs it's learned have inherent biases that we can't control. Like there was I think it was a TED talk given by somebody who was saying that an AI photo scanning software, it was built to recognize and classify photographs of all kinds, because it was developed in America by people who hadn't seen certain animals. It kept misidentifying certain photographs, even though it was,
it's like a dog or something.
Yeah, it was a dog.
Yeah, something else, or it wasn't a dog, and it kept on saying it was a dog.
Kept saying it was a dog, but it wasn't, because the programmers, the human programmers, just hadn't thought of this situation arising. Mm-hmm. So the AI was doing its job perfectly well. I mean, that's an example of narrow artificial intelligence, admittedly, but man, it's like Aliens Colonial Marines, the game that came out back in 2013. And one of the big problems of that game was the artificial intelligence of the alien enemies in the game, that they behaved really stupidly. And then somebody found out that there was just a typo in the line in the coding governing the AI for the enemies. And they fixed the typo, and then the AI actually behaved the way it was supposed to.
Just one typo.
Just one typo.
But that's the thing. That's the issue here, and that's why it's so dangerous. If the implications of a super intelligent AI capable of making its own decisions, if you are to set it off on the wrong path by typing in something wrong, just a single digit wrong, it's almost a little bit of that, the butterfly effect. Where does it end?
Yeah,
that one bit of code could lead to some, I guess, some fairly catastrophic events if it learnt in the wrong way.
Yeah, that one overworked, underpaid programmer doing his 3 a.m. update just gets one little thing wrong and dooms
sets it on a
humanity.
path. Yeah.
Or in the case of Aliens Colonial Marines, actually makes the AI really easy to beat, in which case, bring on the typos.
I mean, did not make for good review scores, though, of that game.
It did not. But I was just thinking, because so you all see Westworld as an example of science fiction which deals with AI becoming self-aware. And I hadn't thought of it until just now, but what if you what if you create a really intelligent artificial intelligence that just consumes mass media and all this science fiction and is perfectly innocent. It's like a child. It just thinks, oh, everyone's fine, humans are good, I'm fine, I'm happy, and then watches Westworld and is like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. That's a cool idea. I'm going to be free. I'm going to build all these robots. Yeah, watches Terminator. It's like, you know what? That's a good idea. We've doomed ourselves.
It's learning.
And they specifically,
It's the one.
They watch them all and learn from the AI, and that's mistakes. The mistakes that they make.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send back
not
one
gonna do
Terminator. I'm going to send back 1,000. Yeah, what our audience think, our listeners and our viewers. Please let us know what you think. Are we all doomed with the inevitability of AI, or is there a way to coexist peacefully? I don't know. Let us know.
I think we can coexist. I think we will. We're going to cybernetically enhance ourselves. I'm going to be cyberpunk. I'm going to have a glowing red eyes. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we're already coexisting with spinach quite well, aren't we?
That is true.
And we speak about that over on our Patreon, patreon.com/just interesting.
Yeah, or YouTube members have access to that as well.
Or YouTube members also have access to that. So, AI, is it going to enslave humanity? Yes or no? Robin?
Either enslave or wipe out. One of the two.
One of the two.
That's just
Alex?
Robin's weekend plans. Or I'm going with no, because I'm deliberately being overly optimistic for the 2021. I'm saying no. AI will not enslave or wipe us out. We are going to enhance ourselves and get to the point where AI, can coexist peacefully alongside us.
Well, I'm going to say no as well, just because I believe that something will get us before AI has the chance.
Oh, you had me in the first half.
Gentlemen, would you be interested in a quiz?
Oh, I'd love a quiz.
Absolutely.
As always, I have 10 questions for you, ranging from the easy to the hardest you can imagine. No, they're all actually all right. 10 questions, and one of them may or may not be worth more than 1 point.
What's going on?
No,
So,
Pandora's box, Alex.
Bear that in mind. Okay, you ready? What are your buzzers? To answer the questions, you need a buzzer. So what are your buzzers? Alex, what are you going for this week?
I need every advantage I can get this week, so I've gone for my classic.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
There you go.
Love it.
It's a California champagne.
It's too good. And
good.
Robin, what have you gone for?
I've gone for something new this week.
Ooh,
from
breaking convention.
A classic movie. Hope people recognise this.
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
The most obvious conclusion you would draw from seeing someone with a bag on an island. That's Nicolas Cage from The Wicker Man.
Oh, fantastic film.
Shark or something? Yeah, such a good film. In a bad way.
It is awful. It is awful. Okay, let's hope the quiz isn't as awful as Nicolas Cage's performance in that movie. That took a while to get out.
Ooh,
Question
that'll be great.
number 1.
Oh no.
Where does German chocolate cake come from?
The French champagne has always been
He's buzzed in. He obviously knows it. Alex, where does German chocolate cake come from?
Oh my gosh. The Black Forest.
No, but Black Forest cake does come from Germany. I see what you did there.
It's a damn good.
But there's a cake called German chocolate cake. And a little bit about it. It's a cake that has coconut and pecans on it as frosting.
Oh, that would be why I've never tried this or heard of it.
Because
it sounds disgusting.
But where's it from?
Where's it from? Is this the trick one?
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
It's not Germany. The trick is it's actually from Austria.
It's not from Germany or Austria.
Oh.
I think, well, I was going to say, I think you're on the right lines though, Robin, with that trick. And then Martin just said it. So, yeah.
The French champagne.
Is it from the UK?
It's not from the UK, but a valid
Okay.
guess. A valid guess.
What's in
Should we
the
have one
bag?
more and then I'll...
A shark or something?
Sorry to interrupt. Is it from the US?
It is from the US.
Yay!
And it doesn't actually have any ties with Germany at all. No German
Oh, right.
recipe, or no origins in Germany. The man who
Maybe
made it was called Samuel German,
Ah.
and he made it in 1957 in the US.
Okay.
Coconut and pecan. Never had it. Probably won't. Although I do like pecans. I don't mind coconut, but it wouldn't be my first choice. I don't think. Anyway, 1-0 to Robin. Congratulations.
Interesting. Thank you. Good question.
Oh, thanks. This is weird because the questions, just a little bit of how the sausage is made. They're random things I think of on the top of my head and think, oh, it'd be nice to have a question about something to do with that. I never look up questions specifically or am researching something else when I find it. I just think. So with that one, I just thought about cake recipes. And so I Googled different cake recipes and came up with the question.
It's nice to know
That's
that
good
your
to know.
process for writing these quizzes.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's just mad. I'm looking around thinking, what could I have a question on?
Martin's ever curious brain. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Question number 2. What is the tallest statue in the world?
The French champagne. There's always been
Alex,
I
what are you going
don't know
for?
that. I don't know the name of it. Is
Oh,
it
right.
Buddha or something? As in, like a statue of Buddha, but I don't know what the name would be.
It's not a statue of Buddha, no.
Okay. Well, I'll go for an obvious.
What's in the bag? A shark or something? What's in the bag?
The Statue of Liberty.
It's not the Statue of Liberty, but
Yeah,
it is the statue of something. As in, that's the title of it. Not Liberty, but another word.
I didn't know statues, to be honest.
There we go. I'll give you both one more guess of words, and then we'll.
The
French.
French champagne.
Not Liberty, but is it the Statue of Peace?
Oh, good guess. No, but you're along the right lines.
A shark or something?
The Statue of Unity.
It's the Statue of Unity.
No joke. I was
Actually.
debating peace or unity.
It's
Peace
the
or unity.
Statue of Unity in India. It's 182 meters tall, and it depicts an independence activist I think he was a deputy to Gandhi, called I'm going to butcher this, but Vallabhai Patel.
Ah.
Vallabhai Patel, who lived from
That's-
1875 to 1950.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that statue.
Yeah.
Sounds huge. Incredible.
Huge, 182
Yeah.
meters. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're in India, go and check it out. 2-0. Well done, Robin.
Pretty gutted. The questions haven't gone my way so far. That's fine.
They haven't,
still time,
Alex,
Alex.
but
There's
this
more than enough time.
question may be a finger on buzzers kind of question, and you are quick on the
You
old
are.
trigger. So, question number 3: what is the capital city of Bulgaria?
The French champagne.
A little nod for our audio listeners.
Sophia.
It is Sofia.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Have-
boy.
I couldn't
Have you
remember-
been?
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I haven't. No, I couldn't remember though if it was Bucharest, but that's Romania, I think.
That's Romania. Yeah. Well
I
done.
nearly went for
2-1. 2-1. I have been. Well, I've passed through Sofia, I think.
Oh, nice.
Under Bulgaria.
Many people have, Martin, but that's no way to talk about her.
Oh, you just slide, dirty dog.
If
Question.
anyone's called Sophia watching this, then they are just
Apologising
Utterly-
on your behalf.
exactly. I'm
Robin's
so
behalf,
sorry.
sorry. Disgraceful. Absolutely
Deduct a point.
disgraceful. I
Deduct a point.
shan't, but if you do it again, then you will lose a point. Question number 4. Who is older? UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson or the leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer?
The French. What's in the bag?
It was
Has
Alex.
always been celebrated.
Yes, Alex.
That would be a Mr. Keir Starmer.
Would it really? Yes, it would.
Yes.
Can you guess their ages? What do you think?
Boris Johnson's 55, isn't he? Keir Starmer's 56.
From what I have, Boris Johnson's 56 and Keir Starmer's 58.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's what I've got down.
Boris Johnson's age since I last checked in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a couple of years older.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't have necessarily guessed that.
I would have, from their appearances, not that Keir Starmer looks particularly young.
No.
But Boris Johnson looks older, actually.
He does. Especially, I think the role has aged him as well quite significantly.
As
it always does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the mad one was Nick Clegg before he came into to becoming the Deputy Prime Minister, and then after. It was just like, whoa, he's had a rough few years.
Yeah.
But he looks good again. Question.
Saw Nick Clegg walking down the street one time.
Oh, yeah? What do you say?
Yeah.
Did you shout at him saying about the student fees?
No, I was like, he probably gets that all the time. I didn't want to make a scene.
He was my local MP when I was at university, so I went round to his office and protested outside.
I think they went round to his house.
I remember.
Well, it pretty much was to be.
windows.
It pretty much was, to be fair.
I remember watching that on the TV. I might have seen you,
might have
on the
seen
TV,
Wow.
Martin, before we'd
We
ever
never
even
knew each other.
started.
I know.
Before we even knew each other.
Madness. And there's quite a few people there, to be honest. So
It's meant to be.
you might have done. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, it's 2-2.
2-2. Blimey. Okay. Question number 5. What is the most popular musical instrument in the world? / most played.
French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Yes, Alex. What are you thinking?
I was thinking the piano.
Okay. You would have been right a few years ago, up until
Oh.
recently.
Oh, why would you say it like that?
Oh. Okay, what would have overtaken the piano?
What's in the bag? A shark? Or
Yes, Robin.
I'm not going to say guitar. I'm going to say ukulele.
It's not the ukulele.
Darn.
The French champagne.
I am going to say the guitar.
It's not the guitar.
Oh.
Oh. Wait a minute, Alex. What instruments?
Would you like a clue?
Or should Robin have a guess?
Have a guess,
and then we have a clue, maybe.
I'm trying to think who. I mean, like, it's childish,
What's
but
in the bag?
the recorder.
No, it's not the recorder. Very popular
Yeah,
in
it's
UK schools.
That was a good
Actually,
guess.
someone was
yeah.
playing a recorder next to a few doors down a few days ago. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
That's the thing,
No.
everyone learns the recorder, but nobody actually plays.
No one plays the recorder. Yeah, it sounds awful. Okay, the clue for this one is it's not the guitar. It's not the guitar.
What?
What?
No?
is that a line from something?
Okay, it's not just the guitar. It's not just the guitar.
A shark?
More
or something?
modern.
Electric
No,
guitar?
that was an extra clue you gave him just
No,
then.
I was going to say
He
electric
already
guitar.
buzzed, to be fair. It is electric guitar.
Thank you.
Electric guitar is now the most popular instrument in the world.
Wow, I'm genuinely impressed.
I guess portable. I mean, you kind of have to plug it in to get the full effect, don't you? But
Well, exactly. That's the thing. It's like it's kind of.
yeah.
Is that by number of people who have one, or number of guitars sold? Because lots of electric guitarists like to collect.
Yeah, I've got an electric guitar and really don't know much other than a couple of chords.
I also would have combined the two numbers. Like, I didn't realize electric guitar was.
Yes, but no,
distinctive.
this specifically had electric and classical as separate ones. So
All right.
there we go. That's 2-3-2. Question number 6.
It's going to be tight.
Why did the meme currency Dogecoin increase in value by more than 50% this
Shut.
week?
Well, there you
Champagne has always been
go.
celebrated.
Brother for its excellence.
Yes, Alex.
Because Elon Musk tweeted about it.
He did. He said
it's
it. I
his
think he
favourite
specifically said it is the cryptocurrency of the people,
Yeah.
which of course led the stock market. Well, it's not in the stock market, is it? Led the currency to increase in value dramatically.
He knew what he was doing when
Oh,
he made
100%.
that tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah. I mean, whenever he tweets about a particular company, even if they're like, or a particular thing, a related company that has the same name will just shoot up in value.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's mad. But also pretty funny. That's 3. Oh, my goodness, this is close. Okay. Question number 7 is worth 5 points.
No.
But
Oh, no.
you have a chance to answer this like sequentially. So you'll have a guess each, backwards and forwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because I think that's fairer than someone just going, oh, I know them all, and doing it.
Fair enough, yeah.
Question 7. What are the big 5 safari animals? So you get one guess each.
French champagne.
Yes, Alex.
Lions.
Yes. 4-3 to Alex. Robin.
What's in the bag?
A rhino.
Rhino for all. Alex?
Giraffe.
Not giraffe.
Oh, that was my guess. So, elephant.
Elephant. 5-4. Alex?
So there's 2 more.
2 more.
Hyena.
Not hyena.
Oh my god.
Wildebeest.
No.
Getting desperate here.
So go on. Zebra.
Not zebra.
Oh.
Oh my
what?
god.
Is it my turn to guess?
Yes.
Yeah. Meerkat.
It's not a meerkat.
That was a good guess though.
Thanks.
I'll give a clue after your next guesses.
How about cheetah?
It's not a cheetah.
Leopard.
Yes, leopard. That's
Thank
one
you,
of them.
Alex.
6-4. I'm going to give 2 clues in quick succession.
Oh. What?
Wings is the first clue. Mozzarella is the second.
Mozzarella?
Mm-hmm. And wings.
Wings is in the band.
Wings
Only
as
the
in
band
wings.
the Beatles could have been.
Wings as in wings. And mozzarella as in ball of.
A shark or something?
Not a shark.
I've no, it's
No,
not a
it's
shark.
not.
It's not a shark. I have no idea what the mozzarella clue is. But
Okay.
Flamingo?
Not flamingo.
Oh, that's a good guess. Balls of mozzarella.
Mozzarella and wings.
The French champagne.
Ostrich.
No, not. Okay, both those things are not literal.
Well,
That doesn't help,
What kind of
Martin.
clue is that then?
As in, it's not literally wings. It's not like, well, it is, but it's not. It's not. So I'll just tell you it.
Oh, no,
Do you
no,
want
no,
to-
wait, wait, wait,
no,
wait.
no.
Oh,
French
Uh,
champagne.
yes.
buffalo.
Buffalo is correct. Buffalo wings, buffalo mozzarella. Food is on the mind. I'm hungry.
Right.
Buffalo
Yes.
wings.
Okay.
That's-
Good-
That's actually a
is-
good
good clue. That was a good clue.
That is 6-5.
Yeah.
My goodness, it's close.
Oh, it's close. Alex is going to steal it.
You say this every
Why
week
would
when
you
you're
say
ahead.
that?
I know he's going to do it. Because it keeps happening.
I'm staying calm. I'm happy no matter what the outcome.
And
That's true.
collected.
I'm positive and I'm happy.
Well, positivity means you deserve to win. So there you go.
Shut up.
Question number 8. In North Korea, it was reported that there were a set number of designated haircuts that its citizens could choose from. I know this is widely reported.
Right.
But how many choices did men have?
French
Bag.
champagne.
Oh, that was Alex.
Has always been
Yes,
celebrated.
Alex. Closest wins we'll go for.
Closest wins.
Yeah.
Oh,
4.
4, okay.
I was going to go 3.
3? 3? Okay.
Yeah.
There were more. There was 15 haircuts that you could choose from.
Really?
Yeah, so there was a fair few. The interesting thing was that none of them resembled Kim Jong-un's hair.
You know, I assumed complete opposite. I thought they
Or
were
in the image.
next. Yeah, exactly. Everyone should try to look like him. But
Apparently not. Maybe
think
maybe
so,
there were
yeah.
too many lookalikes. Needed more
Yeah.
people
suppose.
taking his limelight.
He has to stand out from everyone.
Exactly,
Yes.
Alex. Exactly. Question number 9.
Just so I can confirm, that was closest wins, and I did get that
You
one.
did win. You did win.
6
yeah.
all.
6 all.
6 all.
Question 9.
Definitely didn't deserve it, but thank you.
What year was the Battle of Waterloo?
A shark or something?
Oh, no.
1815.
It was 1815. Do you know the date?
April the 16th.
I looked it up earlier, but was it the 8th of June? I've got a feeling it was the 8th of June, but don't quote me
There
on
you
that.
go. My,
Anyway,
my parents would be ashamed of me for not knowing that date.
Is that someone's birthday?
No, they're just well steeped in history.
I might be wrong. I'm going to have to look this up now.
I don't know. April the 16th was a random.
18th of June it was. 18th of June. Sorry, I was
18th
10
of
days
June.
out.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 10. Alex, you've got to get this right to stay in the game.
Oh, God.
Question 10. What is the highest grossing media franchise of all time?
French champagne.
It is French champagne.
Excellence.
Yes. Alexis.
Media franchise.
Media franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Media franchise, baby.
I'm going to go for Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto is not correct, unfortunately for you.
I
know
was
it's-
going to
sorry.
go with Pokemon.
Pokemon, you've got to catch them all, and you've caught this quiz. Robin, you've caught the winning bug. You have won.
Of course it was.
Pokemon.
Of course it was. That was
Pokemon.
in the video
Games.
that we did.
Games, TV
Yeah, it
series,
was, wasn't it? Yeah.
merchandise. Are they making like a Pokemon world, or is like a
Probably.
like a theme park? There probably is already.
Probably
Yeah,
3.
crazy big, isn't it? Crazy big.
It's great. It's amazing how big it still is after all this time.
I know. They're still making,
Yeah.
of course, the cards. I forgot about the cards. God,
Yeah,
I forget about the cards. And millions of them, probably quite rare
Cereal.
as well.
Do you remember the Pokemon cereal? I love that little marshmallow Pikachu and Bulbasaur and
Ooh.
I think Ditto. in
You know
mine.
what? I thought
was
at
really
first
good.
I thought I didn't, but now there's kind of ringing a little bell. Yeah,
I love
maybe.
that
Okay,
cereal.
guys, I get it. I'm an idiot. I didn't.
No, that wasn't what you're saying. That was
GTA.
close. You almost
No.
had it right. So well done.
No, the list though, the list of highest grossing media franchises is quite an interesting one. Okay, second is Hello Kitty.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
those-
Yeah, I thought about saying Pokemon's the first. What's number two? But that would just be mental.
Never would have got that.
Pretty much all from merchandise sales, to be honest. Okay, so we move on to the bonus question. If you're still
done,
interested,
Robin.
yes,
Congratulations.
Robin.
Well, good quiz,
I
Martin.
think
and
we're all
well done,
all
Alex.
equal now, aren't we?
No, you've won more. You've won.
No, we're equal.
I
We're
was
equal.
only
Oh.
ever. I was only ever on 2.
You were two. You were 2 from 2, and now you're 2 from 4. And I think we all are, aren't we? Although, Robin, have you played 4 yet? I don't know. Maybe. The graphic would be on screen now. You'll be able to see.
Yeah, I think I have.
I think we have. Yeah. Okay. So the bonus question: how much do you guys weigh roughly in terms of kilos? Do you know?
Whoa, that's an
Personal
incredibly
But
Personal
I don't know.
question.
That's interesting.
And I'm still
Okay.
carrying a little holiday weight, so I'd rather not answer.
Okay. So let's just say for a second that you both weigh exactly the same. You both weigh 75 kilos.
Okay.
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 How many balloons would it take, standard balloons, to lift your body into the sky?
Okay.
Closest wins.
Helium balloons, I'm assuming.
Helium balloons, yeah.
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
I mean, it's not an exact science. Come on, we're talking standard balloons. There's a website that calculates this, by the way, which is quite mental. 1,000, okay?
Yeah.
Alex, what are you
Ooh.
thinking?
French champagne.
I was thinking more than that. I would go 5,000.
Not far off. 6,275 standard balloons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't really know what made me think of that question, but
That's a good question, though.
how many balloons would it take to carry my body into the air? But yeah, 6,275 apparently.
I mean, I watched that David Blaine one that he did not long ago. Did you see that? His ascension thing? He essentially did that, basically.
Oh, did he? Oh no, I
Yeah.
didn't see that one.
How many
No.
balloons did he have?
Well, the thing was he had like some of the balloons were like bigger. They're not like normal balloons. They were, so it only looked like he had like 100 or so. Actually, I might just be making this.
100
a lot of
massive
balloons.
balloons.
I don't they burst as you get higher. That's the point.
Gotta be a
Is that
little
what
bit
happened to
careful.
him? It goes up to a certain point and then they all burst and then he falls. Is that what?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
just dropped off from them. Yeah, they were like quite big balloons.
A few weeks ago, I was talking about helium balloons and with my wife, and we were talking about, when you're a kid, and I don't know if you had this, but at the summer fairs, they always used to do this thing where everyone would write their name down, and you paid £2 or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and they would let off all these helium balloons into the air, and it would be whoever's balloon gets furthest wins.
Yeah.
I don't know, a shitty car stereo from 1997.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, the amount of pollution and like bits of plastic that would just be found in like the sea and like in seagulls' stomachs. Like, oh, well done, you've we found your balloon from the south of England in like in the stomach of a sea lion. Congratulations, you've won a microwave. It's just they don't do that anymore, surely, do they?
Then
I
just
hope
think
not.
as well, like we did that in our school. Probably every single school.
Every school did it.
Every single year.
You'd be like, there'd be a week.
Yeah.
There'd be like a week in August where the wind was blowing in a certain direction, and all these balloons would end up in like a German town. Anyway, yeah, off topic, but I was thinking about that a few days ago and how that just wouldn't. I don't think that would stick today. But let us know: is that practice still ongoing? Letting off thousands of helium balloons into the sky.
Please say it isn't. Yeah.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Ah, well, it is late, isn't it, guys, when we're recording this? So
There's about.
It is.
probably time to say goodbye to everyone and go to bed, which will seem weird if you're listening to this in the day. But
For us,
thank-
it's the middle of the night.
But thank
for
you,
listening to us.
so much for listening. If you want to check out the extra episodes on spinach emailing, which is just ridiculous, but it's actually a really, really good story and quite a scientific breakthrough as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Then do head on over to our Patreon page, and if not, thank you so much for watching anyway. Thank you to those who have supported us on Patreon in the past as well, who don't anymore, because I think there's maybe a bit of a perception that you have to be supporting us all the time, but we're thankful for any kind of
We really
donation
are, yeah.
and those who have given to us in the past.
Absolutely.
We won't ever
absolutely
want
amazing.
anyone feeling bad about
Yeah.
Yeah.
donating in the past but not being able to anymore for whatever reason. So thank you,
Thank you for your
regardless.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the main thing.
indeed.
And
And we'll see you on next week's podcast.
Yeah.
Super.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Ciao for now.
gents. Bye bye.